In my last video, we took a look at Five Nights at Freddy's sister location and recreated all 5 nights of gameplay in vanilla Minecraft using command blocks. Everything to the parts and service segment with Funtime Freddy was added, and crossing Funtime Auditorium with Funtime Foxy was also implemented for. They even included the Funtime Freddy segment in the breaker room and the private room ending. Now continuing on with the series, let's finish this recreation by recreating the Custom Night. I've gone ahead and copied and pasted the private room build over here so we have a room to work with. As you can see, it's the exact same one as over there, it's just over here so we don't get confused with the mess that's going on over here. Very confusing. So as you can see, there's already some command blocks here, and that's just to make the desk fan in the office animated. So now let's get started working on the actual gameplay. So I've gone ahead and made all 3 doors. It's the same design I have used for past FNAF games such as the private room in Sis location and FNAF 1. It's just opening and closing animation with the button changing color. I'll show you how that works if you haven't seen any of my other videos. As you can see, it's a simple design where it detects when a certain button's being powered. Then it will clone these door frames up into the build, giving it a nice closing animation while playing a play sound command, then changing the button so it can change the frame of the door. I finished the entirety of the camera system. As you can see here, it's the same design I used over at the main private room, where it will replace your inventory with these items in these chests and highlight the camera that you have currently selected. Same ones over there, very simple commands, and I've used it more than once. As you can see, they're labeled 1 through 7. That's all the cameras in the build. It's just a very simple, nice touch. If you noticed in the last clip, you would have seen these giant map art. As you can see here, I've decided that we will be using map art to make the camera system more nice and have more touches. As each camera is selected, there are 7 of these for each and single camera to select every single one of the cameras, and I'll show off that here. As you can see, it replaces our offhand with that camera and shows which one we have selected and where we are in the building, so you don't get lost and know where you're looking. It's very simple, very nice, and I do like how it turned out. Now I'll show you how I did that over here, and that is just that I gave the player an invisibility effect so you don't see their offhand, and I replaced their offhand, gave them invisibility, and changed their offhand with a map that is one of the map arts, depending which camera you have selected, which are in these chests over here. It's very simple, very nice, and overall not that hard. It is a finishing nice touch to show where you are, because then you know where you are in the building and know what camera you have selected. Now that we have all of the player resources created, now it's time to work on the power system. So let's get working on that, and for the second time in these projects, I'll be using the scoreboard command. So scoreboard object is add power dummy, so we can modify the variable however we like, and there we've created the no scoreboard objective power. So now we need to add the one oxygen, so oxygen dummy, and then we've created the one oxygen. Then we just need to make the status bar that will contain the 2, so status dummy. So now that we've created these 3 variables, we need to contain them all in one so we can show each off the side of the screen. So let's grab a repeating command block and type in the following command: scoreboard players operation power status equals at p power. Who's at p power? There we go, and now we have always active. Now that's ready to be shown off on the side of the screen. So let's copy and paste that and replace power with oxygen, which will just do the same thing but with the oxygen meter. So now that we have those 2 done, it's ready to be on the side of the screen. So now we can go back to this command block and go scoreboard objectives, scoreboard players remove power at P power 1. So every now and again, even if you're not using any player resources, it will still drain some power. So now all we have to do is show this on the side of the screen. So that'll be scoreboard objectives set display sidebar status. Now as you can see on the side of the screen, those are the 2 variables all together in one. So now that we have those two things completed, we can now give the value. So we'll start the night with 100% power and oxygen. Just to make it more simple, that's how it will start. So if we remove this redstone block, as you can see, it will slowly take away 1 digit of power every single time. Very nice and very easy. So I've added a power cycle for every single one of the player resources, such as the doors, the door, the 2 doors and vent, the cameras, and the biddy bab. So as you can see, when I remove these redstone blocks, it will remove power. But if I remove these other redstone blocks, it will continuously drain even more power each time, making it so you have to slowly not use up your power so you can use all your player resources to defend against each of the animatronics. So I've activated the system here, so every time we use a different player resource, such as the cameras or the door, the vent, and the other door, it will drain even more power. So we have to be careful of how we use it and make sure we don't use too much of it, so we can keep defending ourselves from each of the deadly animatronics. So that's why you have to make sure you salvage your power, so you don't use too much of it a night and you lose your power and you get killed. So as you can see, I've just added the set block commands to each and every one of the resources, such as the camera system will set it to air. The doors, when they're open, it will set it to air as well. The custom night, Ballora will occasionally appear in the hallways playing her music. When we start hearing it, we don't have to actually do anything straight away until the music gets louder. When it does, you have to close the correct door to prevent being jump scared. I have created 4 note block covers of her music box in 4 of the corners of the map. One for being when Ballora's at the left side and she's not close enough, the right side when she's not close enough, or when she's at the right side and she is close enough, and the left side when she's at close enough. Now these will play at the appropriate time depending if you were there, and I'll show you how that sounds because it's just the same as before. And with that playing, it will detect whether it will loop or go to the one closer to the door waiting to jump scare you. Now believe it or not, that's most of Ballora's mechanic. As you can see here, it's most of the mechanic. As you can see, a time will count down and it will be a randomizer depending which door it will play, and then a detection system depending if the right door is closed in time. As you can see here, there's this thing called pose, but we only have 1 armor stand. Now I'll show you how that works. As you can see, I'm animating the armor stand, but as you can see, in most of my videos, I just use a steel armor stand for the jump scare. But I've decided it would be more fun if the jump scare had an animation, so I've figured out that we can animate the armor stand using this command right here. It's very helpful and makes it look better. I've added Ballora's jump scare to the power when the power goes out. I'll show you. As you can see here, the jump scare will go out. You can see there, nice and cool. Now moving down the list, we have Funtime Freddy. Now I've completed Funtime Freddy's entire circuit. As you can see here, the same thing. There will be a position command animating the armor stand depending what closet he's at. Now it works the same for Bonbon and his jump scare as Ballora. So firstly, when these items funnel into this chest, it will power this redstone torch, giving a 50-50 chance to either be in camera 4 or camera 3. So one of the closets. It will set a redstone block here, playing footsteps on the side that Freddy's at. Then depending what camera he went to, it will depend what timer starts. If he goes to cam 4, it will be this one. If he goes to cam 3, it will be this one. Now, Funtime Freddy has 2 attack phases, and a normal attack and a surprise, and it will play a dialogue so you understand which one he's doing. Now, when these repeaters unclog, it will detect when the door is closed or if it's open. If it's closed, it will play all the reset commands for another turn, but if it's open, well, you're dead. That's how it works on both sides. The same, just detecting when the door's closed, and that's it. Yendo is a weird character in this location, but that doesn't stop them from killing us in the custom night. Yendo kind of acts like Golden Freddy from FNAF 1. When he appears in the office, you have to flip up the camera monitor to stop him from killing you. When Yendo is in your office, the oxygen meter will deplete rapidly and making it difficult to see. All you have to do is flip up your monitor. I've completed Yendo's entire circuit, as you can see here. When all the items in this hopper funnel into the chest, it will play this randomizer, giving Yendo a 25% chance to spawn. And when he does, it will power this circuit here, removing 1% oxygen every time. And when it hits 50%, it will give the player a blindness effect. Now, when it reaches 100%, it will start the cycle, resetting the system. Now, if it gets under 29%, it will power the jump scare, which I'll show off here. Once that's complete, it will reset the whole cycle, same as it did if you would just get off the block. So Yendo's not a really difficult character. Just unlike FNAF 1, Funtime Foxy works in the exact same way as FNAF 1 Foxy does, where we have to shut the door and watch him to slow down his progress. I've completed Funtime Foxy, as you can see here. He works in the exact same way as FNAF 1 Foxy does, but instead of different armor stand for his different poses, it's just the one with the animated armor stand. And I quite like this idea and technique, and it makes it much more easier instead of having so many different armor stands. This will be cloned up into the build to indicate what stage Foxy's on. And as you can see here, different stages. Now, over here is the jump scare commands and the reset commands. Over here, when all the items funnel into this chest, it will power this, giving Foxy onto the next stage. And this redstone block will only be removed when you're not on the cameras. So when this will power, this block will be removed, powering the jump scare, or not, depending if the door is closed or not. And then this is the reset commands, but I have a 4-tick delay, which means the jump scare will always power before the reset commands will. And that finishes Funtime Foxy. Now that Funtime Foxy is added, the last character on the top shelf is Bonnet. Now Bonnet will glide across your office and you'll have to click on its nose to scare her away until she reappears later on. Now it all starts with this timer here. Now, so when the night starts, this timer will start, and when all the items in this hopper funnel into the chest, it will play with the randomizer, either restarting it or powering by summoning a new armor stand. Now, this works by these two repeating command blocks, which will replace the items on Bonnet with those two items in the chest repeatedly all the time. Now, if Bonnet activates, it will power this strip of play sounds here, and here are the jump scare commands that happens if you don't break Bonnet in time. So over here are the commands for that. As you can see, if you break Bonnet in time, it will power the command, resetting it for reuse later over there. But if the player doesn't break it in time, it will power the jump scare. The way we'll get Bonnet to slide across the room is to detect when there's certain block underneath the armor stand, and that will be magenta wall. So when it detects this magenta wall underneath the armor stand, it will teleport the armor stand and start sliding across the room, as you can see for yourself here. And if we ignore it and do not break it in time, we'll get the Bonnet jump scare. Now that Bonnet is added, we have completed the top shelf. The next animatronic is the Bidybab, who will crawl through the vent to reach the office. First, a voice line will be heard to indicate that the Bidybab is moving forward, and we don't have to shut the vent until we hear a metallic banging sound, when the vent must be shut to prevent the Bidybab from entering. I have completed Bidybab's circuit here, as it's almost the same design as Enid used for his vent cycle in the private room as well. So as you can see here, when all the items funnel into this chest, it will power this strip, sending the Bidybab's pose into a different pose, teleporting it into a different player of the vent, setting that block, the next block to air, cloning it, and playing a voice line every time it moves, so indicating that, the Bidybab is onto its next stage. But this one, it will play a voice, sound of metal clanging, and then this is the jump scare. Now, the jump scare works in most of the other jump scare where the redstone dust will be removed when the door is closed, but when the door is open, it will be set back, letting it play out. This is a 4-tick delay, so the jump scare commands will always power before the reset commands will. It's a very simple design, and I've used it many times before in my many other maps. And over here is the Bidybab's jump scare, and Bidybab's jump scare has to be one of my favorite jump scares I've made, with the faceplates opening and all. During the night, the mini-arenas and electro-babs will tamper with the generator to deplete each of the player resources, such as the power and the oxygen. To counter that, all we have to do is give them a controlled shock while looking at the camera. The mini-arenas and electro-bab work almost identically to how Yendo does with their depleting oxygen. So as you can see here, they all start with a timer, and when this timer is ended, it will power the commands, which will teleport these guys up into the build. Now when they're in the build, it will start to deplete the oxygen just at a slower rate. Now over here, as you can see, I've used the team command, which will allow these to flash red to indicate that they've been tampered with. Now when they're placed back is when you'll deal with them. Here's the electric shock. A redstone block will be placed here every time you throw the camera item again, which will stop and restart the cycle, teleporting the armor stands back down here. Now that's pretty much how both of them work. The next character on the roster is a weird one, and that is Lolbit, where she'll appear on the monitors in front of you and you have to type LOL on your keyboard to avoid her. I've completed Lolbit's circuit, as you can see here, as it starts with a timer like all the others, and when it turns off, it will power a randomizer, either activating Lolbit or restarting the timer. And when it activates Lolbit, it will set a redstone block here, this repeater should usually be here, and it will slowly replace the monitors in the office there with the player heads that are in the chest over here, making it look like Lolbit is on them. Now, once that happens a certain amount of times, a slight delay will happen, and to prevent that, these buttons will restart the cycle, which will replace the monitor back. And where you'll do that is by clicking these 3 buttons in order. And to get that, we will restart, and then we'll replace the monitors back with the normal monitor head. Now, once that is completed, if you don't, it will restart the cycle. If you let Lolbit activate, it will activate these command blocks, which will set a redstone block over at this note blockchain over here, which will rapidly play a beeping noise, which is extremely annoying. As you can hear right here, it will play this rapidly until you deactivate Lolbit. But if you let, it will say a title, please stand by, and then it will make sure that it stays on the player's screen until they deal with it. The last character is the mini arenas, and this is the different type of mini arenas where every time you come back into the office, they'll be on your screen covering up the office. Now this will keep happening until your whole screen is covered with mini arenas, and this can be slightly annoying when you're trying to boot Bonnet or counter with Yendo. But once these mini arenas stay here, they will not leave, which makes it important to not use the cameras for long, because the longer you use the cameras, the more chance the mini arenas have to spawn in your office, covering up the player's view. The mini arenas are now fully complete, as you can see here with its completed circuit. Now, over here is the mini arenas poses, where there are 5 of them, which will teleport in front of the player in order. Now, every time the player enters the office, it will give the mini arena a 50-50 chance to spawn, and when it does, it will set this block to a repeater so it can be used again, so it can continuously add mini arenas. And as you can see here, every time it will add a mini arena, and as you can see, this can get pretty chaotic, especially when you can't be able to see Endo or Bonnet. It makes it very difficult gameplay-wise. Now we have all 10 animatronics done, it means we have a working night of gameplay. Now there's only one thing that remains, and that's making a menu where you can change the challenge modes. Here is the main menu. It's very simple, you just click the buttons left and right to change the difficulty and the challenge. Very simple, it ranges all the way from Ballora to the second type of mini arenas. Very simple and very easy and nice. Now that we've completed the whole gameplay, as you can see here, we're back in the main lobby with the 2 stars, which means the custom night is now unlocked. So let's go ahead and play that now. As you can see, we're brought to the custom night room with every character active, because I've already chose the challenge, and we'll be playing the Golden Freddy 2020 mode. So let's start. Alright, we're in already 1 mini arena and it's 12 AM. No, I'm not ready for round 2. Wait for movement, or voice lines exactly. Right, there's Bonnet, I can hear Bonnet's giggles right there. Have to shock the power. I can hear the Biddy Bab as well. Funtime Freddy's on camera 4 on that side of the building. 3 mini arenas already, and it's not even 1 AM. Alright, the Biddy Bab's moved. Alright, we're gonna close the door while Mom go and get him. I can hear Bonnet. So before we deal with the oxygen, alright, we can open up that door. Oh, it's so chaotic already. We almost have to get the power close, open up that door. Can't wait to finish out. There's the Biddy Bab. And the vent heard the sound Q Lucky. There's Bonnet. Oh, birthday boy. I'm pretty sure he's at camera 4. There you are. Oh, you're still there. We can open up the door. Shock you. Alright, you're gone. I can open up that door. Pretty sure he's in camera 4. Go get him. This side. Good. Alright, we got that. Oxygen shock with mini arenas. Where'd the Biddy Bab go? I think I solved it. You can hear the Biddy Bab moving. There's Bonnet's Not anybody home. I think he's on that side. I don't want to play hide and seek. I'm not trying to. Shock them. Shock you, Electrobab. 75% power, 2 a.m. Here, Bonnet, get ready for a surprise. This side, we can hear the biddy bab. Alright, got lucky there. Shock them both. Piggy gone? No, not yet. These mini arenas are covering up my view. It's so hard. Oh, birthday boy. Open up that door so now that the biddy bab's gone. Alright, we have to shock the mini arenas and Electrobab. What camera you went there? Want to find a way inside? No, you're not, because I'll make sure you don't. You get him? This side. Luckily, we caught that. Alright, what's going on? 50% power, oxygen's going off at 3 a.m. I hear on it. No movement. There's Phantom Freddy. I heard the biddy bab. Sure on cam 4. Shock you, Electrobab. Ready for his prize? This side, I'm pretty sure. Got lucky there. Alright, where's the... Can open up that vent now. I have to shock the mini arenas and Electrobab. Stop them from draining our power. And camera 4. Going to find a way inside. 35% power at 4 a.m. This is getting close. There's Bonnet. Alright, this is not my first attempt, I have to admit. I've attempted this many times. Alright, shh. Alright, just have to wait. If we get him, shock them. Shock. We cannot afford them to take our power. Just close that in case I missed the sound cue. I don't know where the biddy bab is at the moment. Yep, there it is. I have to wait for movement. It's 5 a.m. though. I think we may have done this. Oh, birthday boy, ush the power, and this is going off. It's going off. I can open up that vent now. This is close. We can get ready for a prize. This side. There's Bonnet. I have to shock the oxygen in the power. Going to find a way inside. No, you're not. Oh, it's 5 a.m. We do not want to lose this now. We can do this. We do not want to. There's Bonnet. Oh, birthday boy. Never mind. What a party pooper. Alright, there we go. And we've unlocked the 3rd star, completing sister location. We now have a completed night of Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location Custom Night in Minecraft. But we didn't get jump scared or die in that run, so I'm now going to show off all 10 of the animatronic jump scares.
Go get him!
And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and of course, I will see you in my next video.